Like our big box up there.
Oh yeah, our big chip box. I didn't even
We're
think
darker,
to take
too.
that down. The best entertainment in Mississippi. I don't know about that, but we do appreciate that.
All right, this will kick on and be loud in just a second.
I fuss at him every week about that phone.
I can't help it. It does that. For some reason, it won't let me turn it down before I actually get on the actual show. So we'll give everyone a little time to get on. We were a little late trying to get it all set up. So
Yeah, we usually try to go ahead and get our link out on Facebook pretty early, but we were wrestling with sheep this afternoon.
Sheep and pig.
Yeah, and then I had to come in and get everybody bathed and fed and cleaned up. So we were just kind of running. It's just the way it is sometimes.
Hey, Homestead engraving.
Yeah, I just asked you, are you milking 2 times a day, Kim? We only milk our girls 1 time in the morning, but we know that some jerseys are, what would you say? I wouldn't say trained, but they're
most dairy farms do milk twice a day.
What is their schedule is twice a day, but ours is not twice a day. Ooh, that's hard. Yeah, that ties you. I mean, it's hard for us to find a milker just for once a day. I couldn't imagine twice. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, we probably get, each cow probably gives about that much. We do calf share, so we usually get about anywhere from 3 to 4 gallons together.
Well, they're working on getting another calf. They're supposed to be.
Hey, McLeod, how are you?
For their baby. Well, I hope y'all's week has gone pretty well. Homestead, engraving, business, and life. How are y'all? I'm retired and home all day. Just don't plan vacation is what I'm saying. Because you can't leave. Like, we used to go. And then when we got our girls, you don't get to just throw your stuff in a bag and take off for a week, which we used to really enjoy doing that. But now I would say our vacation is staycation at home.
I think I enjoy it more now.
We've gone on one
Hey, Sean, Alaska.
overnight trip.
Hey, Mountain Trail.
Since we've gotten our cows. One overnight trip. That's a major change for us. Yeah. Miss Kim will come and milk for us, remember?
No, we went on several, but we were not in milk on those times.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We went on 3 or 4, but they were
dried up because they were getting ready to calve. That.
You're losing it, woman. You're losing it. Hey, Miss Darlene.
So yeah, that's the only thing I think for us is we would used to. I mean, like, hey, it's Friday. You want to go somewhere, and we would just go. But I mean, you can't do that anymore. So,
you know, I think that the younger we were, we did a lot, and we enjoyed that. I think I have just as much happiness just being able to be with the kids on our farm too.
But it's fun to me to be able to provide them memories away from working on the farm.
Definitely.
But we just don't do that anymore. I mean, but there'll come a season though where we have to dry them both up, and that'll give us a chance to go somewhere, and we will do something.
And that tends to be the end of the year, which is our favorite time of year anyway.
Did you say hey to Mountain Trail Homestead?
I did. From Pennsylvania, Lancaster County.
Wow.
Are y'all getting the coolness? I know a lot of the areas, a lot of America is getting a big, like a polar vortex going through. Us in South Mississippi, our cold snap is like 50, so we won't get that. Eric up in the woods. Yeah, if we got.
I saw Sean in Alaska come in too. I don't know if you called.
I did. I said, "Are you even paying attention?"
No, not to you.
I know, I agree there. If we got a cold snap right now, I don't know what we would do. We have over 10,000 square foot planted of some kind of be destroyed. So there's no way we could ever
chance of flurries.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
In May, that is very crazy. I don't know if that's crazy for y'all, but for us, I mean, we didn't get snow any last year whatsoever. I mean, we got some freezes.
We did get cold right after Easter, which is very uncommon for us too. Usually the week before Easter is pretty much it for us.
We're at 65 today. Hey, that's good.
In Alaska, that's crazy.
I know.
That is crazy.
Snow here Friday.
Yeah, I saw that there was a big kind of a sweep coming through there.
We're going to have 80 degrees weather Friday through the weekend.
And y'all are in Oregon.
Yeah, so that's our kind of weather right there, 80 degrees.
We actually had a 90-degree day. Now, we're supposed to have a coolness. Okay. We're supposed to have a coolness this weekend, but our coolness is like, like I said, 50. We were a little chill this morning, but we usually are this time of year. We're usually about 85, 90 during the day. Our grass is booming right now, and it usually is booming even more. We had this coolness, so it's kind of stunted it this last week. But other than that, I mean, we're pretty warm as we speak. We can't grow brassicas this time of year and things like that. Um, yeah, the wood stove. See, that's another thing. We have an open fireplace in our house, and we did not have to even hardly use it this last year. So, you know, the sheep. Okay, so when Misty gets back, we'll discuss a little bit more of the sheep, but um, we're in a transitional period with the sheep. Hey, Southern Blessed Homestead, congratulations to y'all's 1,000. Um, Kim asked about the sheep. So the sheep. So let's kind of do a recap of the sheep, and I know we'll probably talk about this a little bit later because it's kind of early in the live. But basically, our the way we do our chores, we have hey Stacy, um, I milk in the mornings. Misty kind of handles all plant seed starts and watering, and then Aiden does a lot of our feedings and waters for most of the animals. That's right. Now we don't aggressively feed cows or anything like that, or even sheep. They're ruminant, but we just kind of check. Yeah, just hay.
If they need any supplemental hay
Right.
or anything like that.
So,
and then in the afternoons, Colby comes home. If we like this afternoon was dealing with the sheep and moving pigs. So usually we don't try to move animals until
late afternoon.
It's at least two of us, so we can kind of manage.
So we move our pigs about every 3 or 4 days. We move our sheep. We were moving them every 2 to 3 days, and then we move our cows. We move them daily.
Well, the sheep we had let them stay for depending on where they were.
We were staying 2 to 3 days. Now we decided on that last video that we did the sheep, where we showed the tall grass, talking about the lawnmowers. When we moved them in that paddock, that grass, we doubled the paddock, and it was grass everywhere. It's beautiful quality grass.
It was just in hopes that we were not just going to have to constantly be moving them, that we could give them a little bit more time because it was a bigger area and a lot of grass.
And still had tons of grass even after that. Hey, Sunrise 74 Yoder. So what happened? So Aiden, one day we were feeding and doing last chores. We were moving the pigs, and so we drove over to the sheep Friday. Me and Jennings. I had Jennings on the side by side, so we rode over there. Said, "Well, let's just go look at the sheep because he likes to look at the sheep." We went over there and realized we had Daisy by herself. Daisy is our youngest ewe, also the smallest, and tends to kind of hang out
in January
with Minnie. I mean, she pretty much hangs with the crew, but Minnie is. I mean, she's always with Minnie. Well, I knew something was wrong because she's never by herself. She was looking off in the woods.
She wouldn't get up.
And sheep are herd animals. They stay together. They watch together. They sit together. They look together.
They graze together.
But she was faced the opposite way next to the net. And so when I got up and actually got into the pen with them, the other three, jumped around, and she just sat there.
She never got up.
She's never let us actually just aggressively put hands on her. She's not a petting sheep. She likes to be just kind of wild and crazy. Yeah. So at that point, we knew we had an issue. So called Missy over there. Of course, it's always a Friday afternoon at 4:45. So nobody wants to. I mean, you call a vet, and
this was Friday afternoon too.
Do you even listen to my story?
I don't know. Go again.
So it is. It's Friday afternoon. So what happens is I have a vet that we've developed a kinship with and a friendship with. So we call them, "Hey Wes," and so he just said, "Hey, I can leave some stuff on my porch. I'm out of the office right now, but I can leave stuff on the porch if you need it. Just come get it." Well, we called one of the sheep owners, the prior sheep owner, and they said, "Hey, this is what we would do. We would treat her." Well, the treatment, again, we try to be.
We didn't have any on hand, and we couldn't find any.
It was too late to pick them up.
So when we got in there too, we noticed that their eyelids were extremely white.
Which is not good.
At this point, they're fatigued. She's very sloppy. Her eyelids are white, which is not a good sign in sheep or goat. So I called the lady because we were not having any luck of finding anybody that could just. I told her what was going on, and she said it sounds like she's probably picked up parasites. She said, but I've got some stuff in a bag. I'm gonna ride over and just put my eyes on her and we'll talk about what she needs to do, what we need to do. So she got here and she had all the stuff with her already, so we didn't need the vet stuff. And so she had what's called cydectin, and like Colby was just gonna say, we're not crazy about commercially treating any of our animals. But after going through and reading, we knew in her behavior immediately, as sluggish as she was very lethargic, very weak.
She could stand up.
Yeah, her eyes at one point in time was rolling back in her head. So we decided to go ahead and dose her. And to be honest with you, I didn't think she was going to make it through the night.
I don't think nobody did. Actually, our vet was the only one that said, she may be okay. You just need to give her this. The original owner and then 2 or 3 other people that we talked to, that get sheep wisdom with, they all said, just kind of prepare yourself. She may not make it through the night. Well, at the same time that was happening with Daisy, our weather, who is the friendliest of all of them, which is Donald, tends to be very friendly to us, but he was being overly friendly too. I mean, like he was rubbing up against me, and that's very uncommon too. So, like Misty said,
he was really slow too. Not as bad as she was, but he was very just drug out. So we knew that he was sick too.
So we had to treat him,
but not as bad as she was. She was like, I didn't think she was going to make it through the night. So the next day we went back out there, and not any worse, but not any better. She was able to get up. She was moving around a little bit. So since then, I have given them oregano, dried parsley, dried rosemary, pumpkin seeds. We've put apple cider vinegar in their water. We've put oregano essential oil in their water and basic H in their water. So we're trying to supplement on top of what's already going on with them. And
let me go back. Their spirits now are a lot better. I mean, even after the first dose and just kind of being around the last few days, we've been moving on. We've got back on the rotation of doing the 2 to 3 day move. Actually, we moved up to 3 or 4 day with the bigger nets. So we dropped that back down to a 2 to 3 day. Well, now we're back to a 2 day. And actually today we just moved them. We're moving them every day. Yeah. And again to make sure that we're doing her all justice to try to save them. The 2 lambs. The other 2 lambs are in great shape. I mean, they've not shown any problems whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So, hey, Diana.
Well,
but they are doing better, as in
their behavior. And this is weird. Yeah. This is what has kind of caught us off guard.
We're not out of the
their
woods
behavior yet, is good, because they're up and they're grazing and they're drinking and
actually running away. It's hard to catch them,
they're like the first few days they were so sluggish they couldn't get away from us. Yeah. But now they're getting back to that. But here is the bummer.
We thought we were doing good until
yesterday. So Aiden and I go out to check on them because we've been checking on them every morning, shortly after lunch, and every afternoon. So we go out there yesterday afternoon and we noticed that the weather has a big clump right here. So I thought, I wonder if that's the lady that we bought them from. When she comes, she said, well, I can see that they don't have bottlenecks, so that's good. Well, I didn't know what she was talking about, so I looked it up. And then when I noticed it, I thought, that's what he has. So went back and done a lot of reading on it. That is not a good sign.
Usually that means it's getting to the end. I mean,
there's major internal damage going on. So
that's lazy. See, that's what we're thinking too with bottle jaw.
Yeah. So I called Colby and told him. He went out and looked at it. So I was on the phone at 8:00 this morning because obviously that was after hours again yesterday. So I've been on the phone all this morning. We've been trying to figure out what to do, talk to a bunch of people. Everybody's opinions were different. Yeah. That is the other hilarious thing about it. Some people are telling us do this. Some people are saying, no, you need to do this. Some people, it was just, it's blowing my mind. And then on top of that, we get out there this afternoon to treat him, and hers is doing the same thing. So she's got it too. So even though they're up and they're moving around and they're grazing and they're drinking well, their behavior is okay. We're getting physical signs that they're getting worse. So
it blows my mind though, because like Misty said,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
On one case, they're back to their normal self, not as chipper, but way more chipper, way more just running. Yeah,
she couldn't
eating.
even eat the other. She couldn't even stand
Right
up.
now she's eating. I mean, they're both. I mean, they're hanging out with their other sheep. They're not by themselves. They're not laying down. I mean, they're doing all the things that they were doing right. But then again, they're still showing signs of now. Are they sicker? Yeah, and you talk about way wormy, and that's what's so crazy. They have better. I was saying on this video, which we're making a kind of a synopsis video of the sheep right now, but
very
today
stressful.
they actually have probably better quality and better booming grass than our cows do, and that's what's blowing my mind. We're rotating them heavy. We have done preventative care. I mean, they have apple cider vinegar. I mean, they have minerals, free choice minerals, but it blows my mind that
I think that they got in a wet area. When we had all those storms come through, they're sitting in a part where I feel like stays a little moist, and parasites thrive in warm, moist soil. So I feel like when all of
great, Miss Kathy, how are you?
I feel like when all of the storms and floods and stuff come through, that it just kept it so damp that it allowed those parasites to just multiply. And the crazy thing about it is, like Colby said earlier, our other two are doing okay. I mean, that it seems like that they have not affected them really at all. But unfortunately, our two smallest ones are very sick.
See, lazy. See, we went on and wormed them all again.
But
with
you know what's so
wormer.
crazy? I was telling you about the opinions a while ago. I talked to one person this morning, and they said, if one has it, you better treat them all. I talked to another person this afternoon, and she said, if they're not showing any signs and symptoms, I wouldn't give them nothing. I would just keep an eye on them. So I'm like, these are all sheep people. They all have sheep, but people's opinions are all different.
It's
and
like
it's that makes it even more stressful.
It's like beekeeping or anything else. Everybody has their own way of doing it. So we try to gain wisdom because we don't know a lot. Hey, Daniel, we don't know a lot about sheep. That was one thing that we didn't know. We've learned all our other animals really well and built a wisdom with it. Well, the sheep, we were doing a very heavy, extensive rotation pattern. We do have moist ground. We're in a wet area, low area. That's just our climate. That being said, because we're not normal worming and commercial medication people, not that I'm against anybody that does that. That's why goats never really worked here. And we're going to watch the sheep. These are supposed to be hardy sheep.
And that's one of the things that really caught me off guard.
We're struggling with the fact of saying, in bad elements, I would understand. If they didn't have, we were mismanagement, or they were not grazing, or they were not moving around, or they were on some kind of feed. I mean, they have been on pure grass that's been quality stuff. And the thing that I think that upsets us the most is we're just trying to figure out what the right answer is.
Yeah.
From our vet or to a farrier or to two or three of our other, lamb folks. The thing though that's been unique for us is because we're not medicine folks, and like today we're going to catch sheep again to put medicine in our sheep.
We had to round them up. Colby held them down, and I had to put it in their mouth.
I really am. I'm struggling with it. I told Misty the other day, I know we have to treat them because I want to save their life.
Because I feel like at this stage, if we don't do something, they are going to die.
But the problem is
they're going to die.
One of these is our weather,
which we were planning on butchering this year.
By the end of the year. Now that's pretty much out. So if he does make it, we're going to let him just be more of a compadre for Trump when he moves.
And Lazy C Homestead, you are exactly right. So when they fit, and what's weird is a lot of times these parasites reside in warm, moist soil. And so when they have no grass, they're eating down so close.
But we have grass.
But we had a ton of grass.
I mean, we still have grass like, 6 to 8 inches.
So that kind of was a weird thing. But you're exactly right as far as that was my thinking. They're eating the worms. The worms go in them, and they're blood-sucking worms, which is why our sheep are so fatigued and sluggish and anemic, because these barber pole worms, which is what I think that they have. Now, we've not taken a sample to the vet to verify that.
I was doing that today.
But all of their symptoms line up with that.
Right.
So these blood-sucking worms make them anemic, make them sluggish. And and I don't remember where I was going with that. Oh, but they go into their body and then they lay eggs, and then those eggs are pooped out in their poop, and then the eggs hatch, and then so you've got the larva out there on fresh grass in millions of numbers, and then you have the other sheep eating behind them. So you're exactly right. And that's why Colby and I decided 2 days at the max they need to be, because if we're treating them, I don't need them to be reinfecting themselves.
What's so crazy is we were already moving them on a 3-day pattern every day.
Except for when we doubled the
net, thinking that would give them more, grazing ability.
Little Feet Farm said barber pole worms are no joke. And that's why I'm really scared.
I hope we don't lose them, but we've done everything we can.
That they're not going to make it. We did treat Saturday, Trump and Minnie. We did catch them and go ahead and give them a dose.
They seem like they're rocking though.
I mean, they're not showing any signs. In my mind, I'm thinking if they're still going to ingest the worms, then they're going to be reinfecting themselves. And
we made mention of that lazy seed.
I did read.
We talked about putting cows behind them. I mean, chickens behind them, then cows behind them, because of the ruminants are different and the parasites are different. But we talked about putting the chickens in there first and letting them just kind of root it up. Actually, my goal was to bush hog behind them and then let the chickens go in. So we talked about that. We have a mobile coop. We can easily do that.
We just have not made up our mind.
We're actually trying to
yet.
Really, we're just trying to get them. We're trying to get to the point of saying, okay,
are we going
to save them or are they going to die?
Yeah.
I hate to say it like that, but that's really kind of where we're at. We're still doing our other chores, but instead of focusing on so many other transitions, we've been trying to figure out, okay, are they going to die or are they not going to die? And I think that's kind of where we're at. So far, they look. I mean, again, when I look at them, they're running around, prancing around like they're supposed to. But then again, like Misty said, the physical sheep there, the physical signs are showing bad still.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what we decided. That's kind of what we decided to do.
Yeah.
Now this afternoon, we've heard advice from several different people. We decided we were told not to dose them. We were told to dose them. Then we were told to double dose them, give them a double dose. And Colby was not very fond of that, but it's like I told him, I feel like with both of them having the bottle jaw, that we're getting to the point of they're going to die if we don't do something. If we die from dosing them with the medicines, if we wouldn't have done anything, then they would have died anyway.
Miss Kathy, we do use a lot of apple cider vinegar. Or I wouldn't say a lot. I mean, we do what we're supposed to do with them.
Yeah.
Lazy C, I agree with you. I always said that about goats. I made fun of goat people because of that, about them being sick. Now I feel like I'm right there. I think that's why God's punishing me with these sheep. But I will say this, and I'm going to be honest, and I've told Misty this too.
I hate that they're so sick, though, because they really are sick.
We're not medicine folks, and we're not ones who tend to do that kind of stuff a lot because we want them to be naturally on the grounds. If we see that they live or we see the other ones live and this becomes a routine pattern, we will have to just get rid of them here because they won't fit on our farm plan. But hopefully that won't be the case because I really have enjoyed this. I mean, if you go back and watch the video that I made that comment on with high grass.
Was the one that wanted the sheep.
I was bragging on the fact that, oh my gosh, these sheep are so easy. We're doing what we're supposed to do. They're not.
They were really easy until they got these worms.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, it's like that day, it's just like bam. I mean, last Friday, it's like their whole demeanor changed and everything. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like in the drop of a hat, and then like I said, then when they got this bottle jaw thing, and I mean, most of y'all know that that's like major signs that they're having major internal damage, and it's gut wrenching to me because I keep thinking, what could we have done to prevent that? Should we have done this? Should we do that? And like I said, it's so bizarre to me to tell one person what's going on and they say, well, I would do this or I wouldn't do this. And I mentioned it to one public group just seeking opinions, and you would have thought that World War III was about to take place because I had dosed them with a commercial drug called Cydectin to save their life. And anyway, but,
hey,
I take a lot of that with a grain of salt, just honestly. But it just blows my mind that people's opinions are so different. There's not like a set if this happens, you do this, 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 this. So many people are like, well, I would do this. And then this person says, no, well, I probably
And
wouldn't
so we
do
try
that.
to
I would
learn
do
from
this.
it.
So
I
I'm just
mean,
kind of like,
we try to learn from it.
I
We
just
love
need
hearing
like a
opinions.
standard routine that he likes to hear.
I
I
like-
want a standard routine
I try to build a
treatment. If this goes wrong, this is what you
hey
do
halfway
to treat
home,
it.
hey art
And
of
so it
creation.
blows my mind that so many people are like, well, I use this drug, I don't use that one, or I use this, I wouldn't double dose them, I would wait X amount of days. And I'm just like, oh my gracious.
They came from a great farm, Daniel.
They really did.
But here's the kicker, though, and this is what we were trying to build, was to build a hardy sheep. I mean, she kept them. I mean, they were on a great rotation, great field always. But again, she does do some kind of treatment. So the thing is, I don't like preventative treatment with commercial medicine. So we were trying to get that back out of them, which that could be the issue.
Preventative is okay. Natural prevention is what we aim at with the apple cider vinegar, with the herbs, with the natural probiotics,
basic age and things like that.
Things like that is what we want to do, but
What's up, Brooke? Thank you for coming on.
Commercial preventative wormers. Like, we don't worm our cows with commercials, just because we don't want them to get them.
No offense to anybody does. We just choose not to.
But we use basic H and apple cider vinegar in all of their waters on a very frequent schedule. So that just really caught us off guard, because we've never had any really sick animals, other than like we had a chicken with bumblefoot one time. Yeah, and then Elsa had pneumonia last year. And then other than that, you know, we really have not ever had any like really sick animals. So it's been very
yes, Daniel, that is correct.
Very interesting,
to say the least.
Yeah. And you know, I thought, like
thank you, Grammy Karen. You sure didn't have to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, that is going to go towards the sheep, our sheep fund right now.
I think I've spent more money on the sheep, trying to save these two, than I bought the whole sheep for. So I was like, gosh, I'm getting to the point. I've got to either get to a quality of stopping.
Today, he was like, you know, you paid as much money for that medicine as you did the sheep, didn't you? And I was like, Aiden, that's besides the fact.
We're trying to save them. That's why I keep trying to tell myself, we're trying to save them.
So, and it's like we said, it's not something that we wanted to do, but we knew for sure if we didn't do something and do something fast, that I thought she was going to die that night, because when her eyes started rolling back and she could not stand up on her own, I thought,
okay, so
she's going to die.
We're off the doom and gloom of sheep. So we'll talk about the other transitions. Yeah, and I'm hoping that they'll be okay. I do want to get to, I'm going to say this, and please don't think I'm cold.
Well, we double
dosed
them tonight.
I want to get to the point where I know the answer. And I mean, like, there's no transition either. Either they die or they get better. I mean, like, there's this transition. It is going to take them
some time to recover, because not only are they sick, not only are they infected.
Sean in Alaska, a boat or an RV. That's what they're becoming.
Not only are they infected, so they're sick, but they're now anemic, so their immunity is down. So after they recover and are worm free, they have to build their immunity back up. And I think I'm going to go get them a vitamin B complex and iron shot tomorrow, and give them both shots tomorrow. Again, not something that we want to do, especially since their behavior seems okay. But if I can boost their immunity and help save them, I mean, at this point, it's a win or lose situation, you know.
So on the fact of other animals,
But we'll keep y'all posted, because we did double dose them tonight. Heavy. We dosed them heavy.
Are you done with the sheep?
No. So we will let y'all know how our experience goes. We'll keep y'all posted. Y'all know how sick they've gotten, to the point where we're still not out of the woods. So that's what we did. It's not something that we were thrilled about doing, but that's what we decided to do. So we'll let y'all know if it works for us or not. Okay, now I'm done with the sheep.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
No, other than that, we have been transitioning our chickens. As y'all know, we're about 2 weeks away from butcher on our Cornish cross.
Those suckers are growing.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a plug in. We ordered from another place last time, but this time we ordered from Purely Poultry.
We've been happy with them.
Very pleased. The birds are growing good.
They sent us one short.
They did send us one short. However, they made it right. They credited us back. Just, I mean, it wasn't, geez, a day. So, but I will say this: I think they have been great chickens. They've grown better than our other chickens that we had last year. So, I've been very, very, very pleased with them. If you haven't ordered from Purely Poultry, or don't know about them, I think to me, they have a better price than a lot of hatcheries that we deal with in the homesteading community, and they tend to really put out a good bird. So we got the ducks with them right now. They got a great spot. They've been on great feed. They're getting ready, and I don't think we've lost, but what,
When
two, three?
when the storm come through and we lost power for several hours, we lost a duck. No, we didn't.
Did we lose? Have we lost any?
I know we lost some turkeys
I think
because
we've lost three or
we
four.
lost
I
a
think we've lost
duck
3 or 4
and
because we
some
ordered
turkeys.
35 and they gave us 34 and we have
And I
30.
think we
30.
lost. We have 31.
Yeah, 31. So we haven't lost a lot at all. Actually, I've been very pleased with them. I really am. Ducks are doing great. We have 5 ducks that are just thriving. They actually love hanging out with the meat birds. I hate it because
Brooke, are you talking about my T-shirt?
We've moved them from hanging out with turkeys and then moved them to the meat chickens, and they're fixing to get moved again because the meat chickens are fixing to go. So they're gonna go back with the turkeys and the young chicks. So what's so crazy is we incubate a lot. So we actually had we actually had we moved everybody around. Our permaculture chickens we moved in the food forest, and we had the hens, and then we had the little box of the new pullets. So Misty had an idea to just let's change it all around. So we changed it all around, and then we realized no, I'm talking about the first
time. Yeah,
we changed it around and put every chicken we had. We started losing little pullets, and we think it's because of the.
There's got to be some type of fungus or something in our smaller red coop
that's causing respiratory issues. It's our oldest coop, so I mean, again, it's one of those things. It's really just a holding coop. Y'all have seen it in
like
videos.
Every few days we would go out there and we would find one dead. So I thought, this is it. I hatched all these babies out there, not staying here to die.
We put them in the big hen house. We took all the hens out of there and put them with the permaculture chickens to make our permaculture chickens a lot bigger.
Well, they didn't like each other.
They did not like that at all.
And all of the ones that come out of the big coop, the permanent big
jump
coop,
out.
I'm talking y'all gone in a minute. Mama, thank you. Y'all did not have to do that. But, we really do appreciate all of y'all.
So after spending 2 or 3 hours moving all these chicken nets around and getting all these chickens moved around, we have about 50 or 60 chickens on the farm. The next day we moved them all back. So now we've got.
Hey, but they can't get out of that fence. I told Colby, I was like, I want them to stay out, but I ain't chasing chickens.
So what we did is we put all the big hens back into the hen house, even the permaculture chickens, and we took our new little hens and made them the new permaculture chickens. So they actually are out in the yard in a shocker knot net, if y'all know what that is. Very, very tight net. So it allows them to be with them. We've actually put the turkeys in there with them. So the turkeys are loving every minute of it. Yeah.
Well, and we had the turkeys in our regular net, but those little rascals can fly too.
Thank you, Brooke. I'm glad you found us.
They could fly up into the bigger holes and get themselves out. Even with the electric energizer on the net, they still could get out of that sucker. So I told Colby, let's put them in with the other chickens because the net is smaller, and they were not able. They have done well. I say that I did see one fly today straight over the top, but I'll do one over to like chasing 10. So,
but I think we finally got to the point we're happy with where we're at on our chickens. So I mean, we've kind of
had a lot of transition though.
A lot of transition, but we actually got where we wanted to. We're just gonna just dispose of the other coop. The little coop.
Yeah.
We've got our we have about 6 rotation. Oh, we probably have 7 or 8 rotation nets worth of Premier One nets going around our farm. We do have another shocker knot coming.
Thank you, Grammy Karen.
That will help us when we get our meat birds this next time and not have to take the shocker knot off the little bird. So that's where we were kind of struggling, is kind of figuring out what we could have that could not run through a net. So by having the second shocker knot, it does help to deal with them. So.
Yeah.
So we're glad about all that.
Yeah.
And we have an awesome video coming out tomorrow. I will say that. We actually did a garden video. We don't do garden tours a lot. I know a lot of people do. So I was like, hey, we're going to do a garden tour. And when I say it's a long garden tour. And it's not
really, well, yeah, I guess it kind of is. But it's basically showing y'all everything that we have grown, what we've grown from clippings, what we've grown from seeds, and kind of the layout. You know, I hate to kind of bust the bubble of the next one, but we told y'all that we were going to do some footage from the sky, which is really, really, really good, I think.
You'll be able to see our farm just kind of.
But when you see the perspective, I mean, we tell y'all, like, when you watch the video tomorrow, I'm like, we're in our big garden. I didn't even realize it was as big as it is until you get up top. And then I'm like, if you compare it to our house, I'm like, our garden is bigger than our house.
By far.
That's a little mind-boggling to me. So when you look at it from the sky and you see the layout of everything,
one of our gardens. That's not counting all our other gardens. It's pretty
cool. It really is pretty cool. But but when you see it from that perspective and you see, holy moly, that is a big stinking garden. So y'all have to hang tight for that. I think.
Thank you, Brooke. Oh,
even though I'll walk it and we work it,
you'll see we have like greenness everywhere. So, oh my gosh! Our potatoes. What's so crazy is our potatoes are playing out now. So we're in a different season where so many people are planting potatoes and brassicas, and everything we have is either bolting or are getting done for the spring season. We're in full summer season already.
Yeah.
So, but yes, y'all need to see the garden tour. I think it's going to be really, really nice.
See, there's somebody she mentioned, Sandy Brock. But I mean, what's amazing, Amy, is I even reached out to Sweet Pea, New York, and she raises her sheep, and she has for several years. So I know that she has definitely good experience, and she referred a drug to us that we had never even heard of. So it's just amazing. And she had heard of Sidectin, but she had never used it before. But it's just amazing to me. All the people that we talked to, so many people would do it so different. So,
but I'm not gonna say that it's not different than anything else, because if you watch butcher videos on chickens, like our butcher video, I thought was very informative and very good. However, my butcher is going to be totally different than several other butchers. And same with honeybees. That's another thing. To me, you can ask one question to a beekeeper association and you will get 50 different answers from 50 different people. Yeah. And so that means it's not a wrong way. It's just what somebody's accustomed to doing. So
we hope we pick the right way.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's like Colby said. Colby's like, I think you're giving them too much. And I'm like, well, they're going to die without it. They're going to die with too much, or they're going to die without it. So I'm just going to give it to them. And that's what we did. So anyway, but yeah.
Are you done with the sheep?
Super excited to show y'all like the layout here and kind of what we have planted and what we have growing, what's done good for us. We do have a crop that did not do very well for us that we kind of had to go back and rethink what we wanted to do there. So y'all be able to see all of that. But I think views from the sky is the coolest. I mean, you watch drone footage and you can really get a perspective of layout, and it's just really
You can see where our milk every morning versus where our lake is. You can see where on the other side of the property, you can see where the sheep are,
then where the garden is.
So it's crazy.
It's really, I think y'all enjoy that a lot. So
yeah, we enjoyed it. I think Misty enjoyed it just watching it because, I mean, we live on our farm, so it's, it's not like we see it from the air all the time. But you'll realize how many pine trees we have in our area too.
Do you deal with snakes? Yes, my son ran over one on the Ranger today. But I will take it way out there versus on my front porch, because before we got our cat, they would come up on our porches, on our concrete. So
we've killed a moccasin in our house. We've killed 4 snakes on our porches. We killed one in our garage. Yeah. Actually, 2 in our garage. Well, killed one in our garage. The other one got in the house. So
Granny Karen said they supposedly have a chance of snow Friday.
I'm glad it's up there in KY.
Do y'all think it's going to damage the things that y'all planted? Because I know y'all. Well, they still have a lot of stuff in their greenhouse. Hey, Granny Karen, have y'all planted? Have y'all put stuff in the ground yet? I know the last video I watched, the stuff was not in the ground yet.
We have friends that live in East Tennessee, and see, they're just now in brassica season. So and I know most of y'all maybe too. They're just now planting their brassicas where we're planting
nothing in the ground yet. Okay.
Yeah, so we're planting all our. I mean, we're 4 weeks.
That's a good thing because we have everything except for Probably 200 tomatoes in the ground.
Yeah, we're gonna plant tomatoes again tomorrow too.
I'm gonna
We
be
have tomatoes
tomatoed
everywhere.
out.
Yeah, so we have. Let's see.
Still in the greenhouse. Okay.
We have
In our
done.
large bathroom.
We've done probably 300 or no 200. I had them up the other day. It's like 280 tomatoes so far, and we still have probably 100 left to plant.
Wes said he thinks global warming is actually getting colder in New York.
Yeah, see, you know, we've had a colder. We actually had a spring this year. For Mississippi, we don't have spring. I mean, our temperatures go from February to summer.
February freezing to
Yeah.
like 80 or 90 in March. And
So
that's like our extent
right.
of.
But we've had a
Art
lot
of
of coolness
Creation
in March and
said
April.
it's supposed to get to 28 Friday night there. Oh, goodness gracious. It's a huge bathroom with large windows. Hey, that's a blessing. Use what you have. If you can grow it where you are, do it.
See, we've planted. We have buds on our cucumbers.
We have baby cucumbers.
That's right. And then we have sunflowering on our tomatoes. Our corn has been in the ground since March 15th. Goodness. Our potatoes have been in the ground since February 28th. So that's kind of how we roll here.
Henry said earlier he was from Texas.
Yeah, so Stacy's picking cucumbers, and she's from our area too.
Yeah.
So you can see, I mean, actually, we almost planted a little early. I'm glad we didn't, because we realized that we had the tomato bed that's already in, and we don't have enough ground cover to cover our whole garden. So we had a little stunt on some of that stuff. But
Henry said he's from Texas, supposed to be in the upper 40s Saturday night there.
I think it's going to be in the 50s here. See, what's so crazy is, I'm going to tell you this. Carrots for us, we have enjoyed growing carrots. Carrots take forever to grow, of course. This is considered April 15th to May 15th is considered the last time to start carrots in our area because of the heat.
It's hard, Brooke, when you're in other places and you won't, like for us, it stays hot so much here. But when you live in those northern states, I know so many people get antsy about wanting to go ahead and get their stuff in the ground. But just like, I mean, who would have thought an Arctic blast would have come through in May? So it's good that
I wish I had some of y'all's dry coolness
to
be able to have something like a cellar or a way to hang meat a little bit better, because our humidity won't allow us to do those things. That's like potatoes for us and our sweet potatoes and any root vegetables. It's almost hard to store here because we don't have a cool, dry area in the whole Mississippi.
As long as you cover everything, Brooke, I would think that you would be fine as long as they're, sufficiently covered, especially if it's going to get in the
Craig, you had to replant your okra. Our okra.
We had some of it that got ate up.
Yes, I say it was not ours. Ours had no problems with anything. We had a possum or something that was just picking through our seeds. And it was the craziest thing. They were picking through the okra,
zucchini and squash.
They didn't touch the peas, didn't touch anything else. Just those three things on those three beds only. So we did seed starts for the rest of it. But those, man, they're jamming now. Which y'all see that tomorrow.
Which he probably planted his way before we did ours too.
That's right.
Because we're kind of like that. I'm a little iffy about planting stuff too early and then it coming and killing it. I'm like, man, that's too much work. If I do it once, I ain't wanting to go do it again.
Sharon Brasher, do you have any bees or anything that's bringing pollinators to your area? You may want to look at some wildflower planting or some zinnia planting.
That's exactly what I was going to say. If you can plant things that pollinators like, it may attract pollinators to you.
I like okra. Our kids love fried okra. We're not into the stewed okra, nothing like that. That's a little weird for me. And we're not going to pickle it because Misty don't eat pickled okra. So we're good Southern folks. So we pan sear it.
Yeah.
Lightly
and
breaded.
we'll cook it in like stews and
gumbos and things
stuff like that. But not to just go boil it down and eat it. I'm like, I don't want that slimy stuff. I'm a textured eater and I ain't doing it.
I see. What's so crazy is our fruit is booming this year because of the pollinators.
Yeah, our blueberries are
what's
off
up,
the
Heather?
chain.
How are you?
Our plums are off the chain. Even our apples.
Oh my gosh, y'all need to see our plum tree tomorrow. On this
it
video,
is loaded.
Last year we had a great harvest, but this year
it's probably 10 times.
Oh my gosh.
Probably 10 times as many.
Hey, there's another Our Life from Hidden Middle Farms. How are y'all? I know y'all are from the South too, so you see, everything's better when it's fried.
That's right.
So we fry just about everything, but that's terrible. I shouldn't say that. We
But
don't fry
look,
everything.
we really don't.
We really don't.
I did
We
make
used
some
to.
tuna cakes. I call them tuna patties. Colby said that just sounds. You need to call them tuna cakes.
Wait, go back. We don't actually eat salmon patties or tuna patties. That's an old-fashioned thing they do here, where they did mustard on it and white bread only, and do salmon patties. So we like
what
crab
our
cakes.
grandmas used to do.
So we like crab cakes. Well, we just said let's try a different spin because we've just kind of we want new things. So we started doing this new tuna cake or tuna patty, whatever you want to call it. And it's been the bomb. Our kids liked it, and we made it like a crab cake. But that's been one of the
first things that I've like pan-seared fried and
we really don't fry a lot.
But
we used to.
They were the bomb. I made some comeback sauce with them, and and then we ate some coleslaw with it, and it was really good. Just something different. And then the night before that, I made homemade fries with pulled pork
on it. It was like loaded fries. Oh my gosh.
What else did I put on it? Cheese, and I made homemade ranch to go on it. It was good. Just something different. Like we're tired of spaghetti, grilled burgers. What else do we eat all the time?
We're
Tacos.
booming this quarantine up. We are rocking it.
So I wouldn't say that, but we just wanted something different. But that was really good. Do you get bugs on your fruit trees? Stink bugs attacked my blueberries last year.
Late season.
In one section.
Yeah, late season.
Up when y'all watch the video tomorrow, we have 3 different major sections of blueberries. Okay. Our older, more mature section, they didn't bother at all.
Have a good night.
Our youngest section, they didn't bother at all.
It was our mid-section.
But our middle section, there were like, oh my gosh, hundreds of stink bugs.
But it was late season too. It wasn't even early season. It was very unique.
July when it was really, really hot. And at that point, everything was kind of starting to play out.
Right.
Because here by July and August, I mean, it's
better
so
be
hot.
Yep.
It's so hot, the sun's going to just kill it. I mean, especially in August. Nothing can grow here in August just about it because it is so hot.
Where y'all may have, some of y'all from the north may have January, February, that's downtime for y'all. That's kind of our onion, garlic, start of potatoes, brassica season for us. So when we kind of come out of that season, we go full on summer. So like Misty was saying, July and August for us, if you've not picked it, you better make sure it's in a good location that can handle trying to get some good rain,
full sun, not in Mississippi,
having some water going to it, because it just won't thrive. That's a hard time of year for us here.
I love fried okra and spicy pickled okra.
Ooh, I don't like spicy pickled okra, but I do like fried okra, Miss Vicky. But yeah.
Do a video with some of these recipes.
Gotta have applesauce with salmon patties. Ooh, gosh.
I've never heard of that.
Misty made them once. She was like, I just want to make them one day. So we bought this. I was
pregnant with one of the kids at that point.
So she made it, and we had to have white bread and mustard. She took like one bite, and she was like, I'm never eating this again. This is terrible.
And I grew up on those. My mom's on here. She put love salmon patties with mustard. That's what I grew up on. But I was pregnant with either Harley or
I think
Eliza.
Her memories were a lot better than the taste of her salmon patties.
It was several years ago, and I wanted one. I was like, I'm just going to get in here. We're just going to cook this. Hey, Carly.
What's up, Carly?
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you what. You're not allowed to be on here anymore if you keep giving us money.
So we
it is popular at the market crab.
I fried some up, and I was still in that kind of where I would be craving something, and then I would get it, and I would like, oh, I don't want it. And I took a bite of it, and I have never had one since.
Brooke, we preserve a little bit different than most. We do not do a lot of preservations with canning. Nothing against it. We just don't can a lot. So we'll show you some of the things we do.
We are going to try to.
We need to.
I can hot water bath, but pressure canning has been a big thing for me because I have kids from 2 to 12. So my whole life has been basically with small children, and I've never felt comfortable enough to throw stuff in a pressure canner and just be like, I'll come check on you when you should be done. So I've never really tried. I've watched someone do it.
How are you?
I've watched someone do it, but I have never jumped off in there and said, I'm tackling canning. But one day I will.
See, we do. We we ferment,
just
we freeze,
for the safety fact of
and we
having
dry.
food.
That's right. So we ferment, freeze, and dry, and then we have freezers and a generator that can run those freezers. But if our garden plays out strong like it did 2 years ago, we've got to figure out another method, and that's where we've probably got to get into some canning. Like for instance, we have 2 freezer fulls of okra from 2 years ago, which we're starting to finish up on, and we still have our green harvest from winter that we froze. So, and then we have our chickens and our pork. So we've got to figure out a way to, because I can't have 20 freezers in my garage.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to can a little bit more.
And happy Mother's Day to all of you moms. And did you see Kinfolk jump in?
Yeah, I talked to him.
And
she doesn't listen to me. I say hello.
I'm
I
reading
make conversation,
comments.
and she never listens.
All right, Rachel just
Hey,
bought a
JNCs.
canner this year. They'll be using it for the first time. Yeah, I think I don't want that to be our main source of the way we preserve food. And just our thinking is the pressure and the heat is going to destroy a certain amount of nutritional food.
Right.
So I don't want that to be our main source of preserving food. But I do think that it is very important to know how to have that skill so that you can preserve food for maybe not your main source of food, because I would prefer to eat raw, live foods first. But to have that if something happened at the grocery store, it's like, who in their minds in this chat would have ever thought that we would have been quarantined and only X amount of people can go into the stores at a time, and when you get in there, there's very little food and no toilet paper. So
it's crazy.
In my thinking, it's smart that this is what we grow food for, to get them put in the cans and get food stored away, so when things like this do happen, hey, we have food out in the yard that's going to last us X amount of time. We'll have food in the freezer that we can follow up with that with. And then we have food in the pantry that's there that can last for X amount of years. So I think that it's wise, but I don't want it to be our main thing.
We freeze in hot water bath, Shawn, in Alaska. Yeah. We do, our jams are usually freezer jams. Is Mississippi going to open back up soon? Sometimes, some days I go out and realize it never closed down, and then some days I go out and like today it was like the Twilight Zone. So I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I have no idea. I'm blown away. Never enough time. How are you?
So yeah, Lazy C got their own pressure canner. Hey, that's a major goal. That's a major goal. That's a major accomplishment.
I want to challenge you though. What we do, we try to every day. We try to eat something live, like fermented. That's got cultures in it, so that'd be yogurt, kombucha, sourdough bread, or any lettuces, herbs. Anything that you're fermenting.
And
yes, and then we try to eat a live or raw food, such as our lettuce, our greens, cucumbers. Like tonight, we try to eat a live food. Then we try to eat a healthy food, such as like our edamames that we steam, or broccoli that we steam, if it be a peas that we boil down, and then we eat our meat. So I challenge you, try to do that during the day. See if you can keep that up, because then you'll quit eating bad, and it will balance your diet out to be, I think, a very clean diet, no matter what you're eating. So I challenge you to do that.
They just canceled school for kids for the year in Maryland for all of next year.
No, he's probably talking about the rest of this year.
Oh, well, most schools have already done that. Cancel for the rest of this year.
I don't know. Ours had something in the paper about trying to finish up some stuff. I don't know what they're talking about. We homeschool, so we have no idea. Our kids had to finish.
Oh, for the rest of this year. Our schools, I believe, had talked about just canceling for the rest of this year. I thought that's
what. So we are opening. Our restaurants in town are open 50% this week. I have a dear friend that's in the restaurant business, and he's made it through. He had some struggling days, but he did float it okay. And he gets to open up 50% this weekend, so he's excited about that. So I don't know. It's
which I'm going to be honest with you. I think the 50% may be a good thing. I'm still a little nervous of just going into a room full of people, like a church, or I mean, I know Walmart, you're still like X amount of distancing from people, but I wouldn't just want to go stand in line with 20 or 30 people. And this is my thinking, because I know that people get out like, they're like, yeah, I just had the flu yesterday. I hadn't had fever in about 4 hours. I'm good. And I'm like, no, you're still contagious. Please back away from me. Or like, yeah, I just had strep and I'm good. I'm good. And I'm like, no, you're spreading your germs.
Lazy C, I think that's an awesome goal. We should be a fully 100% meat sustainable on our farm this year.
At
Vegetables,
least, hopefully by the end of this year.
Vegetables we pretty much are to an extent, and what I mean by that is there's still stuff that we buy like edamame that we struggle growing. But if we had to just say, okay, we're eating strictly off the land, vegetable wise, we could probably easily pull that off, if not be 90%.
And I think our next major goal here for us is going to be.
I didn't either.
Of course,
Daniel.
we already butcher our meat birds, and we're going to be learning our turkeys this year here on the farm. But I think our next big adventure.
Hey, bake a leg and let's
we
dig it.
really need to learn how to butcher our own pigs, and that's like a big deal with the scalding and all of that. Knowing your cuts, knowing how to cut. So we've
butchered. I've skinned pigs like deer for hunters. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. I've skinned feral hogs tons of times. The thing though was, I want to be able to have better cuts on my pig versus just making it on sausage. So that's what we're talking about. We can actually, we can slaughter pigs all day long, but to know my cuts like I'm supposed to, that's what we want to learn. So that's kind of a goal. And
Daniel,
for this year.
You're so close in that area to being in that. You have so many that can teach you right there. I feel like there's nobody around us that can say, "Yeah, just come on over. We'll show you how to do it."
Right.
I think there is one person, and that would be our bee mentors that we could probably say, hey, if you come and show us, can we give you X amount of poundage? So we could do that because they've done it before. But they are probably the only people that we know. But that is that's awesome, Daniel. I
do have a friend that owns a meat market, or that does his own butchery. He did say, they have. If you ever read Joel Salatin's book about, well, it's actually Everything I Want to Do is Illegal. It's a great book. I challenge you. You need to read the book. But he did tell me this year. He said I can bring you in as a quote unquote apprentice and be able to just walk through every step with him and see him do it from a meat marketing standpoint. And I think that's going to be good. So I'm enjoying doing that. The Bearded Butchers, I do watch some of their stuff. I also watch some of Hand Hewn.
We got to see them at
Hand Hewn is who we saw. So I got to see a lot of their stuff too at Hand Hewn Farms. That's right. We missed their workshop at HOA last time where they're talking. We did go by and talk to them, but it was just conflicted with something else we were doing. See you, Miss Kathy.
Hey.
But I agree. I think that the more that I can learn the cuts, Sean Alaska, the better I will be off. Because like I said, I could take one right now and make all sausage with it easily. Yeah. No worries whatsoever. And probably could cut some of it.
And I'm just being honest with y'all. It's awesome to watch videos because you really do learn a lot. But it's nothing like having somebody hands-on right there beside you saying, no, I wouldn't do that, or look at it this way, or you might want to cut here instead of there. Even though you've watched it and you've seen it several times, it's not like having somebody there with you. So I really, okay, when we went to HOA, I was totally against meat birds. I said, I ain't killing no bird.
She wasn't against us having it. She just wasn't.
I didn't want to kill them, and I did not want to gut them. So, but then when I saw Mr. Joel do it at HOA, I thought, this is not that bad. I can do this. We can do this. So we literally come home and in 8 weeks, we ordered and had them here. Let's see, that was in October. No, it would have to have been sooner than that because then we raised them up and we butchered them in January or February.
No, we butchered them. Did we butcher them in January?
January. It was the very beginning of this year.
Dang, yeah.
So we immediately come home and ordered all of our chicks, raised them up, and killed them all.
So this is our second set this
year.
And
it's really not that bad. So am I thinking if we could watch somebody, like Daniel said that he was able to go to workshops and see somebody do it and say, when you cut here, when you pull this, or when you do that, it would be so much
See, we have a lot of family like us that, I mean, we kill a lot of wildlife just by hunting. But the way we do that is basically make a lot of sausage out of it, or if we're taking the back straps or tenderloins out of a deer. Same with the hog. If we know what we're going to grab out of it, we'll grab out of it. But pretty much we don't do everything with a cut in purpose. So our goal is to learn that really this year. So
Amy said they opened last week. She's the cook. So yeah, things are starting to.
Yeah, actually, Daniel, when we butchered those meat birds, we were in cool. We had I had a long sleeve on, but by the end of the day, we were sweating.
Yeah,
like everybody was like dying and like throwing off stuff. So.
Yeah, everywhere else it's going to be like snow on the ground. You can't even walk. But we don't get. I mean, we get snow once every 3 or 4 years, maybe.
And it's a dusting.
Yeah, it's not nothing. Thank you, Kim. Hope you get your baby Friday and everything goes well with your cow.
So, yeah, so we actually are going to set up a butcher for, we have 3 pigs. Our goal for them are 3 hogs that we're actually killing this year. Maybe more, but really it's the one.
You're right, Sean, in Alaska. Doing it always brings it home.
One we will actually let someone else do to make sure everything's done like it's supposed to. Second one, I'm going to try to learn from him and cut with him, go to his little, do apprenticeship there. And then the third, we're going to try to do the majority ourselves. But we'll see how the second one goes, I guess, first. But, it's always fun. And then also,
thank you, Stacy. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
We should be having cattle butchered that by the year end too. Ike, if y'all remember Ike. So we can't do him.
Get some meat on him though.
Yeah, he's growing good.
He's growing, but he's growing so slow.
But we are grass fed only, so he's not getting much. He don't get any fat other than the protein he gets naturally into the grass. So. All right, guys. So we are
a lot of work. We, we kind of figured that. So
we've got to end. We've been on too long. So thank y'all so very much. Yes, Daniel. Thank you for that encouragement. And again,
thank you, Graham and Karen.
If anybody wants to come butcher chickens with
Carly.
If anybody wants to come butcher chickens, you're welcome to come to Mississippi and butcher some chickens with us in about 2 weeks.
Yes. So, and as always, thank you to our moderators.
Definitely.
No trolls tonight. That's awesome. Happy Mother's Day,
yes,
you guys.
Happy Mother's Day for all y'all.
And as always, you guys have made conversations with each other. There are so many good channels out there.
Please
check each other out. I think you'll be amazed at the knowledge you can learn from other people. Knowledge sharing is the key.
Yes. Thank y'all so very much for coming on. And you can see our girls, they're starting. Look, she's in her Christmas outfit. She's ready to go sleep.
They said your hour is done.
That's right. When it gets if you ever notice about 45 to 50 minutes into our lives, everybody, you see us, we're always looking like this because all the kids are just looking at us like, are you done? All right, guys. Again, thank y'all so very much. Look forward to our next 2 videos. Our first video that will be coming out tomorrow is going to be our garden walk.
What we have growing.
It's not only the garden, it's the orchard, and you'll see a lot of fruits. And, that's one thing that we really strive to do this year. And, man, our fruit is jamming. So y'all keep up, watch that. And then the next video after that will be eyes in the sky of the max. So you'll see our property and kind of see where we're working. It helps you kind of put in perspective how big our farm is and how little our farm is compared to some. So thank you so much for coming on, and God bless you.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homesteading, y'all. Can y'all wave and say bye?